everyone, welcome to Craft Addict K. I'm Karla. Sam is not here because this is our first Karla's Catch-Up episode. It's been a week since we did our monthly wrap-up with Samantha. Today you got me. This is a channel about cross-stitch. Today is November 6th, and this is our first, as I said, first Karla's Catch-Up episode, so hopefully it goes well. We have whips to share. I also have all of my new starts that I'm planning in the month of December, and I thought it would be fun to go through those and show you what I'm going to be starting, and if you have any in your stash, maybe you want to join in. And we'll talk a little bit about groups, and I have a little bit of haul for me. So, sit back, get ready. Let's start. We're going to follow same format that Samantha and I do, other than she's not here and I am. So the first thing is there will be very limited editing because Karla's skill set with editing is very slim, but she's working it out. We're going to talk about our honorable mentions. So I tried to limit this to 3, but I just couldn't, and I'll probably talk about them as I'm going through my starts that are planned because some of these people have enabled me to start things. So as you know, I've been in No New Starts 2021 this year. I'm one of the moderators, and next year I'm one of the admins for the No New Starts 2022, and we have just released our travel challenge. It's a yearly challenge I'm very excited about. So it gives me a very narrow window to start things. So we're going to talk about that. So my first honorable mention I want to shout out is Colleen from Grace Note Stitches. Colleen is the same age as Samantha. They graduated the same year, and yet she still enabled me. As we're going through my new starts, I'm going to show you how she enabled me when we get to that one. I want to shout out Hannah Dowling, because Hannah Dowling has a Flosstube channel called Hannah Dowling. She does a lot of full coverage. She also does other stitches, and her and I have decided we're doing the Year of Gnome style because we like gnomes. And Lidia's Leisurely Stitches, another wonderful Flosstuber that enabled me. I've been on Zoom meetings with her, rooms with her stitching, and I am finally throwing in the towel on one that has been sitting on my tablet in Pattern Keeper for definitely at least a year. It's been over a year. I think it's been closer to 2 years. It's been sitting there, and I finally pulled the plug and said, this is the year it will be started. So, won't be the year it gets finished, but it definitely will be the year it gets started. All right, so those are some of the people I've been watching this week. So if you like what you see and you want to visit with them too, you might find a new friend. So let's talk about our whips. I only have 3 whips, which seems really weird to me because usually I have tons of whips, but it has been only a week. I've worked on 3 projects this week. So let's start in no particular order. I don't even remember what I have, but look at this. This is my quantum frame. I have, or not quantum, yeah, Omnic. It's an Omnic frame. One of my favorite frames. And my wrap around the frame is a Garon wrap, and I just love these. I think this is the biggest size that he does, 23 inches, so I think that's probably the biggest size that he does, but I love it. The ties here is when you don't have a project, but you want to keep your wrap with the same scroll rods, you can wrap the wrap around it and tie it to secure it, so it stays with it all the time. It is closed by Velcro. It has 2 different spots that you can Velcro. So if you have narrow or wider, it's actually made to go on the roller frame because Garon Stitchery does have roller frame scroll rods that they do sell on their website. And so this was actually made to go over those, but I just wanted to show you it works for mine as well. So I got this when they first came out. It's not something he does a bag sale with, but they do come on their website periodically when he has time. So make sure you check them out after I do my shopping, of course. So we open it up and look at the inside. And we're going to open this up. Oh, what did I stitch on? This would be my Twin Towers piece by Artisy. And you can see my flag I've started on the building here. It's a 9/11 piece, and I was having fun stitching on that. I think I need to do some stitches in a certain color, but it's not huge. Like, I think you can see right here's the bottom of my fabric, so it is not huge. And I sew, show you the back here. I sew a pocket on the end of my fabric so that the pocket can slide over this rod. And I don't have to use so much fabric. And I just take some quilt fabric that I have because I used to quilt. So anyways, so that would be Twin Towers by Artisy. And the reason why I like the quantum, or I keep saying quantum, but the Omnic frames is, and I've said this before, I can screw this up. You can see how loose my fabric is right now, but if I just take and screw the end bars, look at how nice that tightens up. And I can actually get that to drum tight. So, and it's very easy to take the tension off my fabric just by loosening the sides. So, there you go. Grace Notes does a wonderful video on how to load your fabric into one of these frames. So, check out Corinne and Colleen on that. Okay, so let me put this back. How cool is this? I don't know. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for diving in and making these for us. Okay, so. And my fabric choice does tell me what's in there. I should have known what was in there. The other whip that I worked on this week has been...
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, good Lord. Did you hear that? That would have been my... I'm like, who's talking to me? Woo. Let me get my heart rate back down. I would believe that would be my tablet that's over there with my pattern keeper on it. She was talking to me. And no, pattern keeper doesn't talk to you. Okay, so my next project is Dressed Monkey on the Throne. This is what she looks like. I got this off of Etsy. I believe I got it off of Etsy. I know that if you get online and you do a search for Dressed Monkey on the Throne, you will see this pattern come up. So, it's not on Etsy. I remember Vicki from Stitch and Button told me that it's not on Etsy, and I can't remember where I purchased it, but I did. I am doing this on an oatmeal Aida, and this is, let me loosen this up more so I can roll it down. I realized I actually rolled it up. I got a little bit. So this is the top corners. That's as wide as it is, and you can see I've started getting some of her flowers and stuff in her hair. I was working down the wall over here. What I'm going to do is fill this part in so I get down to where I'm straight across from the toilet paper roll, and then I should be able to roll it and probably finish it. Not finishing it this year, but I do like stitching on it. It is nice stitch. It's not gridded. It's Aida. It's pretty easy for me to see that. And I just did it on an oatmeal Aida that I had. Somebody else asked me about my floss and how I keep my floss. And so I wanted to show hers, because this is how I used to do it. Is I got DMC cards. I ordered these probably through Amazon. I think I got a stack of 100 of them. Matter of fact, I don't even know where the rest of them are anymore. I've given some out in giveaways, but I was taking a full skein of floss and putting it on, and on the back side I just wrote my numbers, and then I used the opposite side for when I had a piece left. And so what happened was, I don't use these as much anymore, but this is a good project for this. I think I have 3 total cards. These hold 30, or it's 15 on each side, and they were relatively inexpensive. So I put what the project is, and there's my floss. So I could essentially, this would be a travel project for me. It's a big travel project, but I would take this, and I have taken this and stitched on it in my camper, and just take it out with me, because I have everything I need. I don't need to take my whole DMC floss kit. So there is that. Oh, let me put my pattern. That's Dressed Monkey on the Throne. And if I was really good, I'd have told you how many stitches I did on these, and I don't remember. Maybe you'll get that at the end of the month. And my last whip that I worked on was a Walk Through the Highlands. She works like this, looks like this. It's a Jasmine Beckett pattern from Heaven and Earth Design. And to let you know, as you can see, this was how I was doing my floss at one point. I was bobbinating, and I was bobbinating specific what I thought I would need for the project. Essentially, if there was 100 stitches, I wasn't using a full skein of floss. So I may have this much floss, for example. And whenever I had like some left, I just rolled it the opposite direction on my bobbins. So I've done that. I can tell which is my original startup flosses, and then I had like ones that I thought I would need more. I threw extra skein into the little container, so it gives you an idea. So I do try and utilize this just so I can use it up when I can, but this makes this more portable for me. So it could be a project that I would take with me, maybe to StitchCon, maybe. I was asked by Gina, by Gina's Hanging by a Thread. Her husband is stitching the same project. She was hoping I would beat him. She sent me a picture of how his progress has been going, and I think he's beating me for sure. Now this has been a restart for me this year because I didn't like the fabric previously. So let me get it out. This, another wrap by Garon Studios. Stitchery, and it says it on the ribbon, it says Garon Toten Bags, which is awesome. And this was used this weekend. We had an event for Survival of the Stitchiest. It was to be a warrior, you had to do, or a healer. There was a specific challenge that we've been working on this week, and I just finished it yesterday, and did a record of 2,752 stitches on it just yesterday alone. I did over 1,000 the day before, just to get, and you'll understand why I selected this project for that event. It's because it had big stitches, and this had solid color. So this is where I am. This is, as you can tell, I'm up here in this corner over here. Once I get this passed down, I can see the marks for the hair. So I'm definitely going to be getting into hair on the next time down. But it's solid colors. It allowed me to get the stitches I needed in a short amount of time for the challenge. Plus, it's something like this is a good thing for me because I do like the challenges because it motivates me to stitch. But a project like this is fun to, when you put it to a challenge like that, oh, you need to do 2,000 stitches by Sunday, it helps you push through the boring parts, for lack of a better word. It helps me push through the boring parts, and I have enough boring parts when solid colors, because I'm used to the confetti, which I'm not a big fan of confetti, but I do see, I like the detail. Okay, so boy, I've been blabbering on here for 15 minutes. We've gotten through my 3 whips for the week. How about that? That's not bad. All right. Got back in my wrap. Really like those wraps, by the way. Just really like them. Okay. Let's talk about haul. Heaven and Earth Design had a sale this week, and I partaked in the sale. Some of it is in my starts to be started later this year. Some of it is I just couldn't pass it up because it was cute as could be and the price was right. So they had a 50% off sale. I want to say it lasted until November 1st. Pardon me while I have a drink of my coffee. Throat was getting a little parched. I don't have a Samantha to partake. Let's see. So the first one I purchased was a Heaven and Earth Designs. This is Dear Little Ones. It's by Sandra, I want to say it's Cook, and it's considered an ornament, but let me just point out the size of this said ornament. So for those of you that can't see, the stitch count on this is 525 wide by 537 high. So on 25 count fabric, this would end up being 21 inches wide by 21 3/8 high. That's a pretty big ornament. So don't be deceived by, oh, that's so cute and small. It's not always that. Make sure you're checking the sizes. But this is not going to be started this year, but it is going to be an eventual start. And I don't know. Reminds me, I hate to say it, but it reminds me of like Little House on the Prairie where they're sitting on the bank and they're fishing, and I don't know. I like it. The other haul that I have, and I do have other designs, but I haven't unearthed, but like I said, it is in my plans for starts that we're going to go over. The other haul, look, I haven't even opened it. This is Fortnite Fabrics. I have been in their fabric of the month. I believe December will be my last month because I'm going to switch. Oh, these are awesome. Okay. So I'm in their gray. I got sidetracked. But I did decide to switch. Every year I try and use a different fabric designer in order to supplement my stash because I don't have an LNS that's easily accessible to me, that I can get hand-dyed fabric, you know, and when I want to start a project, I want to be able to just go to my stash, play around with the floss, do some tosses, and go, oh, that's the fabric. Sometimes it is, I have the fabric in mind as what I want to use. I'm just waiting on the right pattern to go on it. So I did, when I started, I didn't have hardly any grays. Now I think I'm pretty good on gray. This is a 32 count, definitely. My 32 count stash is full. So I switched for next year. I'm going to be doing Grace Notes Fabrics, Fabric of the Month, and I'm doing it in 25 count because I don't have any 25 count. So I'm doing it in 25 count even weave or Lugana. And I think that will help boost my stash because 32, I'm pretty full. I think I've got the whole rainbow, but plus with hand-dyed fabrics, they're one of a kind. You're not going to go to any LNS, which is a local needle shop, and be able to pull two pieces of fabric from the same fabric dyer and have them be exactly alike because they are definitely all individual. Okay, so this is Fortnite Fabrics. We aim to please. This is a 32 count Lugana. And look at that. Just love it. They are serged, fabric serged when it comes, and that is pretty true to color. Nice gray. Oh, I'm so excited to start all the things. Okay, so that is We Aim to Please. The other one is called R&B. I joined the gray club for Fortnite Fabrics, and I also had joined the Dynamic Duo, which is 2 colors, which has been a lot of fun. You know, this is nice. This is a 32 count called R&B. Look at. Oh, isn't that pretty? Okay, so this is like a blue and definitely some yellowish green, like a yellow green in there. That's pretty true to color. Let me double it over here. But definitely pretty true to color. I just can't, I don't dye fabric, so I just can't even imagine the science that goes on when they put all this stuff together. So, okay, so that is R&B, and that is my haul. See, that's doable, right, John? John, it's doable. So that's my haul. I'm going to get rid of this a second. Okay. Let's talk giveaway. Because this is my first ever Karla's catch-up video, I wanted to do a giveaway. So, and we didn't do a giveaway last week. So, we just got through Halloween. This is one that I had stitched, and it was passed to me, and I'm going to pass it on to one of you. So for a giveaway this week, we are going to do Witch by Lidia. This was a fun stitch. It is, let's see, what is the count? Stitch count is 111 by 111. So some Quakers in the dress, and it's definitely a nice pattern. It's not marked up. I make working copies of my patterns. You'll see that when we go through the starts. And I put the originals. I have an accordion file this year by alphabet that I could put all of my originals in a slot in that accordion file. So if I needed to pull the original, I could. I think this coming year, I'm going to put the originals into the ones that I'm working on, actually into a 3-ring binder in document protectors. Because I do like to pass the stash. You will not see me, very rarely, if I don't think ever, have I put any of my completed projects up for sale, because I would like to pass it on to somebody else that maybe would like to stitch it. So, or this year it'll probably be put more into prizes for the No New Starts 2022 travel game. So there is that, because we will be doing random things. Okay. So that's whips, that's haul, that's the giveaway. If you want that, I'm just going to pick a random comment. No words, no special word for that. If you don't want it, please let me know in the comment that you do not want to be included, so that if you are drawn, I will pass it along. I will draw somebody else. But otherwise, I'm just going to do a random comment generator and pick that. We'll say 2 weeks, or no, let's do that. Comment on this video, and we will do the drawing by the end of the month. I should give you an exact day, huh? Well, we'll have a wrap-up video at the end of the month, so we'll do it with our monthly wrap-up video. And let me write it down. Which, if I don't write it down, which monthly wrap-up drawing. So for the November wrap-up drawing, we will draw this one, but you have to comment on this video in order to be eligible. So Karla's catch-up video number 1. Make sure you're leave a comment. And if I don't write it down here, I'll forget. Those that were in last week's video, that one, I want to say, I thought Samantha wrote it down. I know she did somewhere. Oh, Carol Baldwin, yours has gone out in the mail. You should have that probably Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember what they told me on the tracking. I sent a couple of things. Tanya, I haven't heard from you yet. So, Tanya, make sure you get with me. If I don't hear from you by our November wrap-up, then we will take your Big Apple project and probably put it in a No New Starts challenge prize for the travel event that we might do a random drawing when our travelers hit New York. Okay, so let's talk about that traveling event or No New Starts. So I've dropped a couple groups, not No New Starts. No New Starts I've talked to periodically. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail other than to say, if you are interested in traveling across the United States and doing an event where you shop virtually for local needlework shops, I have mapped your way. I've also set you up for some sprinklings of campsites and hotels that you'll be able to rest and recuperate and, you know, stitch your stitches for whatever you had purchased, virtually, of course. And we'll be doing some sightseeing, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're releasing each leg period throughout the year, so it's not all coming out at once. I can tell you that there is 6 checkpoints, and then those 6 checkpoints, it will really help us to gauge how our travelers are doing. If you are a stitcher that stitches by time and don't count your stitches, that's fine. An hour of stitching we equate as to being 100 stitches. So you can figure out, if I have to stitch 50 stitches to get to a location, you have to stitch a half hour, start and finish photos. We are going to be doing a question and answer next weekend. So that would be November 13th or 14th. It will be posted in the group. We're going to do a live question and answer because this is an event that has a lot of moving parts. The 3 admins have been working together. That would be Natalie from Knitty Nat Stitches and Lisa from Paddock Lane Designs. And she has Shady Tree Stitches Floss Tube. And myself, we have worked together to make it possible for everybody to participate. So when I say that, If you are a stitcher that stitches 1,000 stitches a day and you plow through things, you have a place in this event. We have 4 different levels of stitchers to ensure we incorporate everybody. So a tenter, if you average even, I want to say 200 or maybe 300 stitches in a week, you're or even less than that, you probably would fall underneath that the tenter category. And the next step up from that would be the tow camper or the caravan. And I would say a good average for that person would be 500 to 800 stitches a week. That'd probably be a good spot for you. And if you're a luxury RVer, which I think I am, you could probably comfortably stitch about 1,000 stitches a week. And if you are a really, you do well over 1,000 stitches on average routinely, you're probably, in a week, you're probably a hotel hopper. Those are I call them the ones that you see them that are banging out the stitches. So we're all traveling the same travels. There's going to be pop-ups along the way. We're going to have lots of fun, and I'm really excited about the event. That's why I keep bringing it up, because if anybody is considering it, make sure you join the No New Starts 2022 Facebook group, because it is their group challenge. It is their yearly challenge. So it's not going to be opened forever, and there will come a time when that group is closed. Right now, No New Starts 2021, we're gearing up, getting ready to finish things out next month. So everybody has started their planning. Those of us that are still doing no new starts are looking at what are we going to start. Because No New Starts 2021 event essentially ends December 13th at midnight. And that's whenever everybody's free to start all the things, clear up until December 31st. And that's whenever No New Starts 2022 will be started. Okay, that was a whole lot of talk, right? Just to tell you, I have lots of starts. So, one of the events that we're doing in the No New Starts 2021 started out being 12 Days of Christmas. And that meant from December 13th till December 25th, we had 12 days of Christmas. So why not do 12 starts? That has been evolved into what I just showed you. So we're going to go through. I have another container here beside me, so I can move from one container to the other to make sure we've gone through everything. Have another little sip of coffee here. Okay, some of these have not been fully kitted yet because I'm waiting for some packages to come, but for the most part, they are ready to go. So let's start, shall we? The first one I have, I do not have my, I have my floss. My floss is here. I purchased the floss. My fabric and my pattern is coming from Grace Note Stitches. So once it gets here, I will officially put it together. But this is Huckleberry Farms by the Blue Flower. And I am putting it on the fabric called Sarah from Grace Note Stitches. So once I get my pattern and my fabric from them, I will get this kitted up. But that is definitely one of my starts. And I realize that I have more than 12 starts here because I'm going to be starting probably some days. I will have a couple of new starts. In order for it to be considered a whip in the group, it has to have 200 stitches. There's 3 different levels. So there is the no new starts, which means you're not starting anything. You don't even get a free birthday start. So there's absolutely no starts. There is 22 and 22 challenge, which was one I was really pushing for because I thought with the zombie run in Daily 30, having 22 focus pieces would be nice to really focus my stitching. And then work your whips is you earn new starts. I think you come into the game with a free start. You can definitely earn them along the way. And you finish something, you can start something, or vice versa. But you can utilize all of your whips. So I was struggling, and I know some of you have talked to me on Zoom. You've been struggling. How do you pick 22 whips and how do you, it's like choosing your child. Which one are you going to keep with you? Which one are you going to get rid of? Or I don't want to say get rid of, but lock away in the closet for a year. I was struggling with that. So I decided I'm going to do Work Your Whips with a 22 focus. So I had already picked my 22. I struggled to pick them, but I'd already picked my 22, but I decided to keep those as focus pieces, but I am allowing myself my full array of whips to access and use, so I can use them for challenges, and I can, if I decide I want to stitch on something, I can stitch on it. Okay, I hope that made a whole lot of sense. Maybe it didn't, but all I can say is join Noni Starts 2022 because the group will be closed come the end of the year. All right, the next one I have is a James Christensen design, and this is the one I was talking about. Lidia from Lidia's Leisurely Stitching I've been watching her stitch this on Zoom for the last 2 years, and every time she pulls it out, I just absolutely love it. It is so stunning. I finally said, you know what, this is the year I need to pull it out. So this is a Heaven and Earth design, and it is called A Place of Her Own. And this is what it looks like. And I do like reading, and there's a unicorn back here, and it's just it's an interesting piece. It's got a lot of tapestries on the back. It just really captured my attention. I've had it for a while, like I said, and I will be stitching that. I don't have it. I'll be starting it anyways. Okay, next up. This one is one that I had purchased. I think I got it from 123 Stitch. It's an outdoor 4-pack by Pickle Barrel Designs. There is 4 different patterns in there, and they are 44 by 59 stitches. You know that I am a BAP and a large stitcher, so you're going to see a little bit more of the smaller items here. But we have Take a Hike, S'mores Fun, Jump in a Lake, and Happy Camper. And they look like pretty simple, not a lot of stitches required in that. And what I did was I went through my fabric stash, and I pulled out different colors of little pieces of fabric that I had. Like this is a 25 count Dublin linen called Incoming Storm I picked up from somewhere. So it must have been like an ornament pack or a cutoffs that I had. I don't know that I will use these, but I thought it gave some, they would be about the right size because they are such a small pattern. So we'll try it. We'll see. That right? It's small, and it gives me a way to use those little pieces that have been languishing in my drawer. So that's the outdoor 4-pack. I'm pretty sure that I got that from 123 Stitch. I think it was one of those things that they were either on sale or I'd ordered something, and you know, no project can go by itself. So the next up is Owl Forest embroidery, and these are Christmas bears. How I plan to do these is each individual bear as like an ornament. They're not big. The whole project is 137 by 100, but the bears aren't big. As a matter of fact, I kind of messed around, and again, I pulled out some scrap fabrics that I had. What is this? This is a 28 count Lugano Whisper that I had, and I think I could probably get 2 of them on here. It's like a gray. This is a 28 count even weave. Look, I am frugal, but I think I can get a bear on here as well. If I can't do a bear, I can definitely do the sweaters, maybe do Christmas sweaters and make them into little ornaments. So I've told you, I'm very frugal. I even pulled out some Ada that I had from something. I don't know what, but I thought that might work as well. So those are my Christmas bears. This was a PDF download, so this will not be a project I will be able to share with any of you, but it's Owl Forest Embroidery Christmas Bears if you're interested. I just thought they were cute. Okay, then we have Lori from Texas, who enabled me to pull this out, and I have actually, I started kitting. I have the floss. I haven't picked my fabric yet, but I will. This is Holiday Quaker by Lilo Studios, because as I was going through my list, I realized I didn't have a Quaker piece, and I do enjoy stitching on Quakers. So I'm going to do this one. And I've started, like I said, pulling the floss. So there we go, Holiday Quaker by Lilo Studio. Next up is a round robin I am doing with Corinne, Colleen, Hannah, Sarah, I'm not sure who else. Samantha is in this one, and it is Heartstring Samplers Cross Stitch Nation. And this is one of the reasons I could not do a year of no new start option, because I'm doing a round robin with this where we are taking our floss, which I have to pull my fabric yet. But we're taking this pattern in our floss and we're sending it to each individual, and they are going to stitch a person that represents them. It's how I think it works. It's the first time I've ever done it, so it's there. I just haven't decided what my fabric will be. Next up, this is a bag I won from Jen Lee from 24 Hour Cross Stitch. One of her earlier 24 Hour Cross Stitches, she offered this as a prize, and I actually won the prize. I was so excited, and I met her at StitchCon. She met me to give it to me at StitchCon. Isn't it funny how when you see things, it reminds you of this wonderful community? Okay, so this one is Mary Poppins, and I purchased this. This is by the Little Stitcher, and I'm going to use some fancy floss, variegated floss instead. It is charted for DMC, but I'm going to change up some of those big blocks of color, like the blues and the blacks. I'm going to change it to a variegated. In the clock, I'm going to change to a variegated. I also had ordered to go with this project, and I think it was, Mad for Minders. I'll show you so you can see her card. There's Mad for Minders, and it has a Mary Poppins needle minder. So you know, I gotta do the Mary Poppins needle minder. And for this one, I have the fabric picked out. The girls on Zoom, Nunu Starts Zoom, helped me with that. And it is a Fortnite fabric called Rick and Morty. And this is like a blue, purple, rainy, kind of greenish, hazy day kind of look. So I think it'll look really cool on this as a backdrop. You know, typical foggy England morning kind of thing. So that's what it's going to go on. The stitch count on this one is 153 by 179. So I'm excited. I'm so excited to start all this stuff. And the other thing I guess I should say, because of the option that I'm going with for the Work Your Whips and the 22 Focus, it's kind of a hybrid, I guess you could call it. If I don't get all of these started, it's okay, because I'm going to be earning starts. So they'll stay in my container until I can get them earned the start, but I'm going to try and get them all to count. I don't know how many videos you'll see of me in December. Alright, trying to make that. Okay, next up I have Heritage Sampler by Plum Street Samplers. I've had this for a while in my stash, and this is my working copy here. Plum Street Samplers Heritage Sampler, and it's 168 stitches by 185. I had already picked out a fabric for that. It's pretty. It's just, what is this? 30 count antique lamb's wool, and I have it charted to do over 2. And so I haven't pulled floss yet, but I will be pulling floss soon. I think I purchased the floss, as I looked up on my floss wall. I purchased the floss, but I think I put it in the stash and didn't put it in the bag. So, okay. This one, some of these, as I was getting things ready to kit up, I pulled open a drawer, and I have been putting things aside in my envelopes. Remember, I was going to do mystery envelope draws, and I found all these things in envelopes, and I was like, oh, I need to make sure that's in my start. Who would have thought I could talk as long as I've talked that I had to have a pause in the video and have to restart it? Hope you don't mind. Karla's ketchup has turned into a movie. So I'm going to show you where I was at. This is the fabric, and it's with an 1.5" border. It's 25 count, easy grid fabric, 1/1. That is for a big whip. So, big, awesome project. I think somebody called it recently, and I was like, I like that. Other than the big A project. So, this is from, I purchased it on Etsy, CZ, I can't remember. But it is a Disney World map. I don't have a world map piece, so I am really excited to stitch this. Every time I look at it, I find new things. Like there's an Eiffel Tower over here. Part of the picture's actually cut off because of how my printer wanted to act crazy. But not much. There's a little bit cut off on the ends here. But I just think that is so neat. And it's got all of the, the countries, and Australia's over here, and Africa, and anyway, so Disney World map will definitely be a start. That is a big piece. That one is one that will stay by my DMC floss kit. So, if you're interested, if you email me, I will look up the link and send it to you. Next up, in my Garon bag, I have, this was a rack that came to me. And let me just show you. This is the size the fabric is. So it's not big. It's a quick stitch. And a rack is Random Act of Kindness. And Corinne from Grace Note Stitchers, when Heaven and Earth had their sale, she sent me this in. So it was very nice as a random act of kindness from Heaven and Earth. She saw this on my wish list, and it's Chocolate, Chocolate, and More Chocolate by Randall Spangler. This one caught my eye because my middle daughter Rachel is an Oreo fanatic. And Sheila, you would really like her because if you bring Oreos in my house, she is going to take off with them. Because I don't know how, she's got a metabolism that doesn't quit. But it is 175 stitches wide by 181 high. It will end up being 7 inches wide by 7 1/8 inch high. So it's not a big project, but how cute is that? Thank you so much. I got to say thank you, Corinne and Colleen. I'm really excited to start that. That had to make it, and it is one of my focus, actually, for the year. Because, I don't have Hazel anymore, so that's a great replacement to Hazel, since Hazel is done. Okay, next up is a haul item, and I'm trying to show you because this is the size it is. Gives you an idea. Not all full coverages are massively huge. You just have to look and find what you like. This one ends up being 14 by 14 when it's done. It is an ornament by Dominic Davison. It is called Log Cabin Home. Some of you I've seen stitching this. I decided to jump on the bandwagon because, boy, is that a happy place right there for me. So that will be a start this year. I say a start in December, after December 13th. It's going to be start all the things. Okay. Which I'm okay with because it's a controlled start. I've been looking at stuff all year long, and it's kind of makes you realize how many things you want to work on, and it puts them up on the forefront. The next item is in my Garon bag from the Halloween mystery bag, and so here's the deal. Here's the deal, yo. Maybe you guys can help me. I'm going to pose a question to the communal brain here. All right, so It is called All Hallows Eve by Erica Michaels. And it has all three, the strawberry, the drum, and the crossword in this pattern. It was the mystery, Halloween mystery from Garo and Stitchery. It comes with the floss. Everything's kitted up, essentially. However, the fabric that came is called Timberwolf 32 count. This is my piece of Timberwolf. It's linen. I don't know. To me, it seems dark. Like when you look at that pattern, it seems very dark to me. And I'm concerned that I'm going to lose some of the details with the black stitching because my piece to me looks very dark. So I started looking at alternatives, and I found this from Fortnite Fabrics. It's a 32 count Lugana gray. And I was thinking that this might be a better option when you look at that. Does that look like it? To me, it looks like it's a more true to the picture. So here's the two side by side. So what would you go with? Because I'm leaning towards that one. And that is called Round Trip by Fortnite Fabrics. And this is Seraphim Fabrics Timberwolf 32 count linen. This is a 32 count even weave. So, and that is the pattern. So give me your thoughts. Okay. I left them both in the kit because I wanted to pose to your thoughts and see what you think. So let me know in the comments which one you think would be a better fit, or if you have a different fabric altogether that you think would go better. I'm open to suggestions. And got my floss drop in there. I have to put my floss on yet, but there we go. Get her on Stitchery's floss drop. And my needle minder's in there, my witchy needle minder. Everything's in here. Everything's in here. In this one little bag. The only thing that's not in there is my Q-snap or scroll rods. That won't fit, but everything else does. I don't want to lose this because I will forget what the name of that fabric is. Okay. So that is a start. All right. Next up. Okay. This one, I don't have the fabric yet, but it is coming. I'm very excited. So I did get a cone of floss. This is DMC cone. I want to say it's 3808 is the color. So you can see. And I have fabric coming from Australia. My friend Lisa with Paddock Lane Designs. I asked her to dye me a piece of fabric that says Australia to her. And she dyed a couple of different ones. Sent me some pictures. I picked the one I liked, which happens to be called a Neapolitan ice cream, which win-win for me. I love an ice cream. And I am going to be stitching Anzac. So, I wanted it to be special, and for me, it's the fabric is coming from Australia. I'm stitching Australia. How more special can that be? Other than if I had Silks for You Australian floss, but that's okay because DMC works, and I'm really excited to show you the fabric when it gets here. She said it is en route, so maybe it'll be on my next catch-up video. I'm excited, but that one will be ready to go. Okay. Next up, we are going to do Heaven and Earth's Magic Study, the rainbow version. I've already started. This is by Rose Con. I had started the limited edition release, but I did like 8,000, a little over 8,000 stitches, but I really like the rainbow version, how it's so much more colorful and just brighter. So I liked it. So I'm doing a restart, and I will be doing the rainbow version. It is 775 stitches by 574 stitches. So it is a bigger one. And there's about 3 or 4 of us that are going to be stitching this together. So that are in the No New Starts group. So that'll be fun. It's always fun when you're stitching with friends, I think. Okay, next up. This one made it into Hazel's bag. This was a gift from me from Serena from Hawaii. I love this bag. Every time I open it and pull it out, I just think of her. So it was very nice of her. Oh, okay. And so what is in here happens to be my, so the story behind this. Rachel, my middle daughter, you know, is deployed right now. Growing up, she has always been fascinated by Rosie the Riveter. I found a project on the Gecko Rouge site that is Rosie the Riveter, and I had shown it to her, and she said, "Oh, would you stitch that for me?" Well, who am I to say no? Because, you know, I said, "Oh, sure, I'll have it done before you get back from overseas." She comes back in August, I think. August, September kind of time frame. Okay, so let me show you how big it will be, because it comes as a kit. Everything's in the kit. It is this big. I can get probably this big. So it's this big. I don't think I'm going to get it done, but I'll give it a valiant effort. It is one of my 22 focuses, and it is called Point Blank by Sarah Bowersock, Rosie the Riveter. And this is her. It's a Gecko Rouge pattern, and that will be a start for me. I don't know how many times she dressed up like her for Halloween, and just, you know, always had some kind of something going on that was like her. She's a very independent young lady. So that's Rosie the Riveter, and she is in Hazel's bag, along with a little mini bag. So, love it. Okay, and that's from Serena, who, by the way, is just traveling around the States right now, I think, because I keep seeing her pop up on my Facebook feed, and she's all in these other places. Okay, let me put this bag out of the way. All right, next up, this was a gift. I talked about Vicki stitching. She had Reading and Stitching, I think, is the name of her channel. And she had sent me a few, I say a few, but a stack of her projects that she wanted to pass the stash on, per se. And so one of them is made it to be kitted for this year. And this is called Happy Haunting by Lizzie Kate. Whoop, sorry. And so this will be a start this year. I have kitted it. I did all kinds of conversions. So here's my color palette. I did all kinds of conversions. I didn't do what was called for. I just made it up. These are my handmade floss drops. I also used my sprocket and took a picture. Whoop, there we go. Took a picture of the actual design. I know I'm getting glare. There you go. And put it on a drop. It didn't have a hole. See, that was just something repurposed. So I know what that floss is for, which is a neat little tag. I don't know that I'll do that on all of them, but I did it for that one. I just was playing around. And this is on a piece of fabric. I'm going to put it on 32 count even weave called Ocean Glass, and it's from Paddock Lane Designs. This is Lisa, and she is an Australia designer and fabric dyer. And for whatever reason, I mean, this is way big. I won't need this whole piece, but I liked it. I thought it kind of had that spooky feel. And it's dark, and, you know, and I may stitch more than one, or I may use this for some of the other smaller projects, because I do that too. But look at the colors and how they pop off of that fabric. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. So, yep. So we are ready for that one. I say we, but I'm ready. I'm ready. So, and I know some of you may not have seen how I store my fabric. I have comic book boards, and I think I saw this on one of the Steel City Stitchers, that they did this. And essentially, I was writing on the board what it was, but now I just take the card, and I take these little grippies that you can get on Amazon fairly cheap and clip it on the board. So I still had it on the board and it's in the project bag. So that's going to be a start. You guys counting? All right, next up, my gnome bag is going to be full of beautiful gnomes from STITCHY that I am going to be doing my gnomes. Now, for my gnomes, I have decided that it will be finish one before I start the next one, but they are going to tissue box is the key word. They're my way through, and I'm going to start with January. I have fabric coming from Fabrics specific for this one. But I wanted to show you the recent release is Autumn. This is the November release. So that was a haul item. I have all of the months in here. This was a Year of Gnome Sal that was going on this year. Because I was in No Starts, I couldn't start it, and neither could Hannah. So Hannah enabled me, and we are going to be starting these together along with some other virtual stitchers that have been in the Zoom, the No New Starts group, I think are going to be stitching these two. They're just too cute. So there's that. So as my fabric comes in, I will add it to my project bag, and those will be all of my gnomes. Okay. We're getting there. No, we're not. We're really not. All right, next up, in my Garum bag with my Santa Claus, it would make sense to have some Christmas, right? So, what I have in here is something I got on 123 Stitch. It was on sale. These are kits. Jolly Rudolph or Jolly Reindeer ornament, and it comes with the tin and the floss and the Ada. And I had ordered more just tins because I thought if I like these and they look relatively simple to stitch up, I may make my own. They finish at like 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, so they're not big by any means. So, and there is Jolly Santa ornament. So I do, and it looks like Ada that's in there, and they're both kitted with their floss. So the other thing I will be doing is my Madam Ice ornaments. This is the Walrus I finished this year, but there's Walrus Sweet Tooth. She's got a Santa. I think I put them all on my pattern keeper. There's a cookie. I don't have them printed. So sorry, don't have them printed, but they are in my pattern keeper, and they're ones that I started and finished the Walrus this year, but I had a couple other ones that I wanted to do. She has she was featured in a magazine. I want to say it was just Cross Stitch, but I'm not 100% sure. That has a snowman that's blowing coffee or cocoa. So there's a reindeer, there's a Santa in this set. So I will be working on some ornaments. So I made that my ornament bag. Let's see, what else do we have in here? They're starting to, we're getting down. Okay. Next up, this was a Pass the Stash to Me that came from Lisa in Australia. And I decided I absolutely have to start it. It's going to be on 36 count limited, StitchCon limited edition. I decided to put it on it. I think it's going to be big enough. I'm pretty sure. I hope it is. But it's 36 count. And it's Little House Neighborhood. And it says, a little house, a little tree, a neighborhood for you and me. The stitches on it is 177 by 232. And I think this is 13 by 17. So I'll be starting in the center of this pattern and working my way out just to make sure I have enough. But that is the pattern. I have pulled all the floss. I have messed with this and messed with this and messed with this. I've changed fabric 3 or 4 times. I think that this fabric will work. So this is all, it's all DMC. So if you have that and you want to stitch it with me, please come on and stitch it with me. Kind of keep everything together on my boards until I could make sure once I start it, then they'll come off of my project boards, and I'll use the boards for other stash that comes floating in. So, it just arrives. All right. So that is a little house. Then I've had this one kitted up for 2 years and have always put it off. This is Land of the Free. It is a design by Kimberly Mueller. This is my working copy. It's not a very good copy. I did do color conversions on this. I have all my floss pulled. I've had this kitted for a while. I think it'll be, I don't think it's going to be this big, but it's going to be a lot of houses. And this is Land of the Free. And what it says is Land of the Free because of the brave. It says that across the bottom here. And all of my pretty flosses, I think, are going to pop on that fabric. So, okay. Oh, 200 stitches, right? All I need is 200 stitches. Then in my bag, I got from my friend Laurel from California. She had Vicki from Stitch and Button send me my camper bag. Remember my camper bag? I decided I was going to put this project in it. This is Grab Life by Hands On Design. And this is going to be a start for me. And it is 90 by 59 is the stitch count. And I've got my working copy. I thought I had fabric. I do. So here's some repurposed. Look, this was a card that I made into drops. It was, I think it was somebody's birthday card at work that they gave to me. And I made little floss drops. It's not a big piece, but I'm looking forward to stitching it. It will be, I think it'll work out. So this was supposed to replicate the sand. All right, and it's called Grab Life, and it says Grab Life with both hands. And that is in my project bag that I got from Laurel, and it's a perfect fit. Thank you, Laurel, for the bag. Next up, Plum Street Samplers. A lot of people have stitched this already. I've watched it, and I put it off and decided, buggers, I'm going for it. It is Toil and Trouble. This is my working copy by Plum Street Samplers. And it says, double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble. I think with something like this, you have to do variegated floss. I don't say you have to, but, or blending or something, because you'll lose a lot of the detail in the trees, and if you don't have some kind of variegation. So, yeah, I'm putting this on a 25 count Lugana. And I'm just gonna look at the floss colors. Lots of pretty colors in there. Lots of pretty colors. So, that's Toil and Trouble. Next up is a pattern by Lindy Stitches called A Change in Latitude. And it says, a change in latitude would change my attitude. And I thought it looked cute. 97 by 68. I purchased this in StitchCon 2019, and it has been sitting, languishing in my stash. So it was time. This is another one that I made floss drops out of repurposed cards. And on the back has the numbers. And I do try and put like a tag without a hole for floss, just because I thought that was cute. So, change in latitude, and I have this on this fabric. And I think that will be, that will work. So, and this was a piece that I had. I don't get rid of fabric. I really don't, because I never know when it's going to be something that's just the right size. Okay. And that would be Lindy Stitches. Okay, let's see. Next up is I don't know that I have a picture for this one. I will see if I can find it. This is just the fabric. I don't know if this will be a start or not. This is one I'm kind of on the fence about. It's called So Many Books by Randall Spangler. If you've seen it, it's the dragon that's sitting on top of all the books in the castle. I don't know. So it might be a start. I'm probably not going to be a start. But I have the fabric cut if I do decide to start it. And the next one is Colleen's Fault from Grace Note Stitchers. So what happened was, I was watching Grace Note Stitchers Flosstube, and Colleen showed her project she was working on, and she flipped up the pattern like I'm about to do for you, and I thought, oh, that's kind of neat. So of course I showed it to Samantha and said, hey, check this out, thinking maybe she would want to stitch it. Samantha says, oh, I like that. Would you stitch that for me? Samantha stitches, y'all. She stitches. And when I said, you can stitch it for you, this is what I got. But you're stitching Rosie the Riveter for Rachel. Why don't you stitch something for me? I want something for my mom, too. I want to be special, too. So how do you not stitch it? So this will be a start. This is the only one that has a set day that I will be starting it. And it is Baby Yoda. This is an Etsy pattern. I got it for $5 on Etsy. It is so cute. It is 250 stitches by 350 stitches. I do think it works out to being a BAP with a 2-inch border, but this is how big it will be. Thank you for that, Colleen. Own that one, young lady. So I will be starting this one on December 28th. That is the only one that I have currently a set date for. And that is because December 28th is Samantha's birthday. So I will start this on her birthday. And I believe she will be 19 this year. So, and I told her I would have it finished by the time she graduated college and had her accounting license. So it may take a while. All right, so that is the end of my bin of starts. That is set in stone. There may be a couple of stragglers that gets earned to be started as the year goes on, but that is going to be what I start 2022 with in the coming year. If I don't get them, like I said, it's a lot. And if I don't get them all started, I'm okay with that. So I will just work them into the year as I earn new starts in the group. So, wow. This was a long catch-up video. I promise they won't all be this long. But I wanted to give you opportunity to start thinking and prepping for your own 2022 starts. I have the countdown on my phone. It is the December start of Palooza. That will happen at midnight on December 13th. And I'm really tickled I made it this far in no new starts without start. I did start my freebie, but that was it. I haven't started anything beyond my freebie. And I'm really tickled with that. And I've made a lot of good progress on my whips. I've had, I believe the last count was 12 finishes this year. So I'm okay with that. There's a couple more that I think are on the horizon for a finish. I'm close. So I think I will be happy with starting some new things and rolling them in. And I think that's it for this time. If you have any questions, put them in the description box or put them in the comments below. Don't forget which, if you're interested in that giveaway item, put it down below. And we will do a drawing out the end of November for the wrap-up of November video. Thanks everybody for joining me on my catch-up initial first episode. It won't always be movie length, and I hope you got a lot of stitching done. Bye everybody.